and welcome to another episode of Success and Failures, where we get to find out different success strategies from dynamic individuals around the globe or around the corner. Today is no exception. I get to interview my dear friend, business owner, entrepreneur, real estate investment strategist, mom, grandma, humanitarian, philanthropist. I mean, I don't know how many titles, coach, business developer, marketer. I mean, I can keep on going and keep going and keep going and going. And then also a best-selling author here, and she's going to tell you a little bit more about that. But I've talked too much and I've explained way too much. Welcome, Tammy.
Thank you, Nikkei. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm excited because it's the first time I actually get a chance to do this with you. So, who is Tammy Watson? I mean, what makes her awesome? What gives her her superpower? And what gets you out of bed and gets you to do what you want to do?
Well, Nikkei, I'm going to say God first.
Oh, yeah.
Is what gives me my superpower, what gives me my strength to be who I am today. I have to give it to him. Yeah.
Amen. Amen. All right. So tell us a little bit about you. I mean, some of the things that got you to where you are now. I mean, a lot of folks see that, you're polished, you're successful, you've gone through a lot of fire, but talk us all the way back to when things may not have been going so well for you. And then we're going to bring you forward to where you are now. So kind of get us to when did things kind of went like, maybe I should do something else?
Well, this is such a great opportunity to get to talk to you because, I would not be here today if it wasn't for Nikkei Roach. I always like to tell people about that. Back about 12 years ago, I business owner my own real estate firm, and just was a broken and destroyed person, real estate agent, just a broken person all over. And Nikkei, I remember the day I got a phone call from you and you said, hey, I have to tell you about this information. But being who I was, because I was so broken and I was so hurt, didn't have this spirit of wanting to hear anything, I put you off, Nikkei. But I remember the day when I put you off and you was like, all right, cool, done. And you got my attention when you said, I was just trying to help you. And no one has said that to me because I was suicidal. I wanted to commit suicide, and my children my oldest son was strung out on drugs. I was actually in the process of getting ready to go to the second divorce, on the verge of doing that. And I remember that day over 12 years ago when you came to me and we met downtown, and you began to just give me more encouragement, speaking it to my life. And you sent me to a website to my life coach, our life coach, Danny Johnson. And I remember doing what you asked me to do. Okay. And I did. I went to that website, and I remember Danny saying to me, it's not about the circumstance. It's about how you deal with the circumstance. And you gave me specific instruction. You said, Tammy, once you listen to this website, call me back. And I did. I followed instruction. And I never forget the day I made a commitment to go to that event with you. And from that point, my life has been changed. I am a different person today, Nikkei. My life has changed from being broken, finance, having a broken marriage, having a broken relationship with family, broken business relationship, broken relationship with females, women. All of that has been restored, Nikkei, because 12 years ago, you care about people and you came to me. No longer suicidal, have the most amazing relationship with women and men in our community. All over the world, I am in helping to inspire and change people's lives through creating vision for their life. When I had no vision. Nikkei, I had no vision. And
So
12 years today, Nikkei.
so I want to ask you something because and I know the story, and you and I have sat down many times and I've listened to and watched you grow and develop and explore. But before we go way forward, I want you to tell me financially when you found out your next step. Did you have the money to travel across the country? Did you have the money for a hotel? Did you have the money to get into, even though you were a successful business owner, did you have the money to go and even just get, a bus ride, a taxi and, did you have that money or did you just kind of what?
You know what, Nikkei? I had no money, but I had faith. And I actually ended up getting $50 to my name. And I remember when we decided to go cross country together to a life event with Danny Johnson, what is called First Step to Success. When we decided to go, I had to borrow $50. And Nikkei, I made a commitment. Well, I'm gonna fast the whole weekend, but I'm gonna go. And Nikkei, I remember somebody paid for my flight. Somebody, I got a free ticket to the event through you, and my flight was paid for. And I remember, Nikkei, getting to the airport and I had no money. But what was so interesting about that I see now, God made provision for me anyway. But he gave me wisdom because he knew where he was going to take me. That he was like, take a bus. And then we were in Dallas and I've never taken a bus before. So I want you to get this in your mind, Nikkei, that I was dressed to the T, had my suitcase, took the train from the airport to the bus that cost me a total of $4. Okay. Took the train to the bus station in the heart of downtown. Never knew how to ride a bus before because I have never rode a bus before. Imagine this: cute, pretty, successful, with the luggage, getting on the bus, didn't even know how to get to the bus stop. Was fearful that somebody was going to tell me to go the wrong way. But God made provision for this lady to tell me how to get to the bus stop. Got to the bus stop, then Nikkei, imagine, had to take my little suitcase and walk a block to the hotel. To the hotel. But you know what? $4 that it cost me when I used to had to pay $80 to travel. Yep. But it taught me that there's always a way. And that was a way, and that way actually helped change my life. Very simple.
So, okay. So you've learned humility, normally traveling first class, normally traveling, elegant cars, elegant food, elegant crowds. And now you've been brought to your financial knees to be built up. But even though you started down the path towards success, did you directly go from, oh my God, I got no money, or did you just get immediate success? Or tell us somewhere in the middle, was there any more failure in there before you got to where you are now?
Well, I did get a little success, because I believe, sometimes God gives you some success so that you can keep going. But, it was a journey. Because what had happened was I had to dig on the inside of me and find the vision that I had on the inside of me. But it took 12 years. It took 12 hard, long years. I had some ups and downs, some things that, had happened to my family, happened to my life. But the thing is, God still kept me. So yes, I had some up and down. I had some good success. I had some bad success. But I learned through all of that strength, humility, love, patience, and self-control. I demonstrate the fruit of the Spirit. That's what I learned.
Wow, speaking true wisdom and speaking true life. So now we're gonna move into where we are currently. What has manifested in your life most recently? And speak to specifics with relationship. And you spoke about that. You said with your marriage, healing relationship with your children, being ended up, developing a third generation, meaning your grandkids, and then being able to heal relationships and build stronger relationships with females. Talk us through a little of that.
Well, like I said, my relationships was broken in every area of my life. And for the last 12 years, I began to work on 12 areas in my life. My spiritual life, my mental, which is the spiritual, it comes to the mental and my body, who I am, me as a person, my personal growth, learning how to have self-control in my life, how to build my marriage, the relationship with my marriage, and how to be a wife. Okay, I learned that. And then the other thing that in the 12 years that I did is I learned how to have a relationship with my children. I didn't have a relationship with my kids. I have beautiful grandkids. I talk to my kids every day. My son, they're like, we travel, we do things together, which, we were doing it when they were young, but we really pumped it up to give them relationship, to take them all over the world to orphanage and doing things so that they will know what life is all about, and giving back, so we did that, and helping them understand what life is and what vision is. I learned how to build a successful real estate business,
Very
and
successful.
work ethic. I learned how to do that, have vision, learn how to vision for money, understanding what money is like. That was one of the areas that I worked in my life. And the other areas is relationship with people, relationship with the whole entire world. And one of the things that what is so big is my extended family. My first and second and third family, my daddy side of the family, because I didn't even know that side of the family. I went out and did it in an extended family and began to build relationship with that. And then I also worked on legacy in my life, and leaving a legacy for my children, building an empire, didn't have vision. So in the 12 years of those principles in my life, at the 12th year of going to Danny, something happened. God began to give me, taking those 12 principles and putting it into a book called The Vision Within, where this book allows you to design the true you. It helps you to dig on the inside of you to find you, okay? And it helps you to discover a divine purpose for your life. And this vision book, it helps you to unlock the past, remove the feelings that being stuck in your life, and that also give you power to stay focused, to have discipline, and to also to birth the vision on the inside of you, so that you will be able to manifest the things that you desire to manifest in your life.
So I'm glad you pointed that out, because I was going to actually ask you about the book, because you kept speaking life to vision, and I was like, oh, well, she's going to keep saying vision for a reason, because that's the theme of the book. Now, what have you found to be some of the key characteristics that in your professional life, as well as your personal life, as well as even in your spiritual life, as a business owner, as a philanthropist, as someone who gets her hands dirty in the ditches, building orphanages and seeing some of the muck that a lot of us don't even want to touch or even see or even, kind of come across? What do you find is the things that people struggle with? That you've seen, and you've gone through this for 12 years, and you've mentored and you've coached and you've guided and you've prayed, and what do you find are some of the things that people really do struggle with? And what would you say to some of those folks?
Well, they struggle with their spiritual life. They struggle with themselves, who they are as a person, their past is what is holding them back. And so, as I go through coaching and getting people to dig with on the inside of them, we have to unpeel layers of the past, of things that they had to deal with. That is really what is stopping them.
Give me an example of a past experience that may be harming someone financially, or even a relationship. Give us an example, and you don't have to sugarcoat it. You can make it.
I'm very transparent, so
right, go ahead.
I could just give you an example of me. One of the things that I struggle with is in the past. I don't struggle with that anymore. Is loving me, being who I am. And what happened was I was molested when I was a little girl at the age of 6 by a male and a female at the same time. And so I lost my identity of who I were. And so I struggled for many, many years, brokenness on the inside, because that little girl was damaged. And when a little girl is damaged, that little girl is still screaming, even though you're growing, your body is growing, your mind is growing, but their pain that is still there. So I had to go in and deal with that and get healed within that, so that I can have a true relationship with God, have a clean heart, because the word of God says, in the word of God today I was studying, he talks about have faith in God. How are you going to have faith in God? And he said that and remove the mountains that are in your life, so that you can have a clean heart, so that whenever you pray, that you get whatever you pray for, it would be manifested. Well, I was broken. I was hurt. And I never dealt with the pain of that, the pain of being molested and hurt. And then that hurt went from one hurt, and then allowing other things to come into my life to even hurt me even more. And I didn't have boundaries for my life. Whatever went, I didn't design my life. My life was defaulting to whatever was happening. You know what I mean? And so when I began to get healed from the inside, then I began to see and cast vision and have relationship and be able to coach myself, that I can be able to help coach other people. Became humble.
So you went from the student to the teacher to maintaining the student status in that regards.
Oh, yes.
So now that you are a internationally recognized mentor, speaker, coach, as well as author, what is Tammy Watson's on the horizon? Tell us about what made this book a reality. I mean, because I suspect that this book didn't just pop up. It sounds like it was going on for a while, and it just finally popped up, and this is what people see. But what is the vision behind the vision and the focus for the book?
Well, Nikkei, I'm so glad that you asked me that. Back in 2018, I traveled with Danny to Israel. And before 2018, Danny would say to me, this is your year. This is your year. I was like, and then she would say that. And then I'll start saying, well, you don't know about this. This has happened in my life. And she'd be like, looking at me, she kept saying, this is your year. This is your year. But for whatever reason, back in 2018, we did what is called a spiritual journey in Israel, that we was going to have an experience with our Father. It was a daddy and a father situation. And that's how she wanted us to have that experience. Well, let me tell you, I never had a father in my life. My father, I was at the age of 3 when him and my mom divorced, and he was never in our life because he was an alcoholic. And so he lived in another city, and we lived in a different city. And so we didn't have a relationship. We didn't get to know him. So when you don't have that physical, and somebody talk to you about having a daddy and a daddy and a father relationship, visually, you don't know what that's like. You don't know what that feels like. You don't understand that. So you really have to fake it until you can see it. I would say. So, so Danny would say that to me all the time, and we did the experience. But 2018, something happened. Something shifted in my life, and I was sitting at the. I was outside by myself because we did a deliverance or whatever it was. I can't remember what that thing was we did. And I was sitting outside over the deck, overlooking the Sea of Galilee. So if you read about the Bible, the Sea of Galilee, that's when Jesus walked on the water. I mean, Peter walked on the water. And no, the boat. I'm sorry. Yeah, that was it. The boat. It was the boat. And when he got out the boat, when Peter walked on the water, was it Sea of Galilee? And I was sitting there, and Danny, she came up behind me, and she looked at me, and she said, "This is your year." So I was like, okay. That was the first time I didn't have an excuse or I just threw up something. I received it. I said to her, I received this. It is my year. So what do you mean, Tammy? First of all, when you get healed from the inside out, you can receive the grace and the mercy and the blessing that God has for you and your purpose. So purpose was put inside of me that day. Did it start manifesting? It was working. So I got back here, and guess what? I got fired from a job. When I say fired, I got let go from the company I was with that I started, and I sold it.
I'm only laughing because, and I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at how this vision is coming out, because it was like you literally spoke it, because you said earlier, you said, there was something in the way before you could have a relationship with your father, your spiritual father, your God, your creator, all that is all. But something was in the way, and you get back home and you get fired from the company because something had to get out of the way for the next thing to come forward. So it's sort of
exactly.
I never forget how it sort of comes into that way.
Okay, I never told this story publicly. So this is the first time I'm telling the story about what happened. So I started ERA, and then I sold it over to Wilkinson, and then I was a broken charge for many, many years, and then they brought in a new staff because I chose not to because of my son's situation. But I had no idea my son was going to go the route that he was going to go. So we come back from Israel after that experience, and I got the word, heard what God said, and I got fired from Wilkinson. I walked in, and they was like, "We no longer want you here." And I'm like, "What? I've been gone for 2 weeks. What are you talking about?" "Well, you did this and you did that." And I'm like, "No, I didn't. I didn't do that." So they walked me out, and I was like, shock. I'm like, wait a minute, I just got back from Israel for a 2 weeks experience with God, and then this happened.
So this happened at a place that you pretty much founded.
Yes, I started the company.
You started that franchise part of it.
Yes,
and literally you built the house, and then they're like, "Well, we're going to escort you out of your own house, your business house, if you will."
Yes. And so that happened to me. So I remember leaving the office dumbfounded, like, what has happened? What has happened? So I remember something Danny had said to me, Nikkei, and she have said it, bootstrap yourself. You remember that?
Yep.
Because you used to say it all the time.
Do it.
We got to bootstrap myself.
Yep.
So what I did is, that's when I started Diversity-Driven Real Estate Group. I had already started, I was going to do the group within the company, but then I went on ahead and launched it after that. And let me tell you, General Gorm was on my show, the Vision Book Club show, the 3 weeks ago. And he said something that was so powerful that I keep it with me every single day, that I said it to my children, I said it to everyone. And when something happened, I always tell them this. From that point, he said to me, and he said to this, and I want you to write this down and remember it. He said, God will give you provision before he brings the vision. Okay. And so, so I said, okay. They left me out. I went home and I sat down and I was like, okay, what is I going to do? And I remember bootstrap coming up, bootstrap. So I said, okay, I'm just going to bootstrap this business. I'm going to do what I got to do. And I'm going to get back to the top where I were. So I called the board of realtors and they gave me a membership. Boom. I called the chamber. They gave me a membership. Boom. Didn't it? God bless me. He made provision for me to get where I need to go. So I began to work on that. Had no idea that we were going to switch and move my son to Georgia. So we end up going to Georgia and I end up going away for, 3 years after that happened to me. But Nikkei, I still sold in North Carolina and I made very good money every single year that I was gone, North Carolina and Georgia. And I became a mother, something that I didn't do. I went and I traveled all over, didn't miss not one thing. I traveled, we paid for 2 mortgages. And today, Nikkei, I don't even know how we did it. But we got a chance to input. I remember the Lord saying to me, you can have bootstrap the company, and you go and be a mother to your son and you pour into him. Because when he leave, he's gonna need to have to stand on the word of God. Okay, so you know where I'm going. Mm-hmm. So I did that. I walked by faith, and I still made money off of referrals. I think every year I was making $70,000 to $80,000, and I didn't even put no effort in working. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so I spent my time in Georgia and taking care of my son and traveling AAU all over the world. I met flights here, everywhere. I was gone. I mean, people was like looking, Tammy was gone. I'm looking back right now, Nikkei, I still don't know how we did it.
But I wanted to point out something because I remember what you just said earlier. You had healed relationships, right? Mm-hmm. And that you were focusing more on relationships than money. And the provision was provided because you focused on the fundamentals. Mom, wife, and everything else will work itself out. Your business will work. It's going to be a little challenging. Yes, you're going to have to strap. Yeah, there's going to be some failures. There's going to be some successes, but it's sort of like a trajectory. It's kind of like a stock market, if you will. It goes up, it drops down, but as long as it keeps traveling up, it's going to drop every now and then, but as long as it keeps traveling up, it's trending. You're still fine. And I think you're a perfect example of someone who's had a horrendous background, and you've told some of it. You didn't get into all of it because people who buy this book and actually start plugging into your coaching and your mentorship, they're going to hear the whole backstory. Because I know you're transparent. You tell how it is. I'll tell you about my son, my daughter, my grandkids, my dad. All that stuff is there because I think a lot of people are tired of fakeness. They're tired of all these fake, well-polished, the people who look good, they smell good, they sound good, but they're flawed and they're hurt, and people can see that. And since you're exposing yourself, you're allowing people to see that if they stick the course with faith and finding a way to be able to fundamentally get back to the simplicity of family, relationships, that will spring forth so that you can actually have other family, not just biological family, but family in businesses, family in houses of worship, being able to travel and sow seeds into places like Belize and Haiti and Jamaica and Africa and Europe and Israel and all over the globe that your hands can physically touch. But not just your hands, but your spirit and your message goes way beyond your hand. But I love how your vision is helping. And I hope those folks who are going through a hellacious time right now understand that Tammy is a testament to it's going to suck. but part of that sucking, it's going to eventually go to where you wish it would go, but there's going to be some challenges. Talk us through, so now that you have a best-selling book, and now you have people contact you all over the globe all the time, what are ways that people can directly get in contact with you? I mean, they want to say, hey, can you help me with some real, because I know right now, and just time, people, real estate is real estate. There are things that you can do in real estate, and there's sometimes you should not touch real estate. Okay. And there are some other times that it's a great time and other times it's bad. How do people now focus in and say, I want to work with Tammy because she's transparent, she's someone like me, I see her in me, or me in her? How do they get a chance to work with you?
Well, Nikki, I'm glad that you asked me that, but real estate is not easy today. Not at all. But what they're going to get from me and my team, they're going to get a heart, a real estate agent that has heart, that has experience, that has knowledge, and that can walk you through steps when things get rough and tough going through a real estate deal. And that's going to be able to comfort you through that. Because we know today the world is very crazy and all kind of things that happen right now. The market, we are short of inventory. So if I put a seller house on the market to sell, I probably can't find them a house to buy. So we have to come up with strategies, and I have come up with simple strategies on how I can help you sell your property, and then you still get into your property, that we will find your house and get into it. And so that's what you're going to get. You're going to get hard workers. You're going to get people that can understand. And then the most important thing is that I'm going to help you cast the vision of your desires of the house that you're looking for. That's that, because I believe in vision. I believe in faith. And going through that process, that's something that you'll get from me, of 29 years of real estate experience. And that's a long time. That's life. That's real estate. I mean, that's a lot. When you're dealing with someone, you want to know that they understand people. They understand the process. They understand your vision to get to where you want to go for you and your family, whether it's luxury home, whether it's a veteran, whether it's a first-time home buyer, or you simply just relocated into this area. We understand the process for you and your family to get you to your goals and your dreams that you want in buying a home.
And I'm glad you brought that up too, because you brought up something about veterans and being able to work with veterans, and that's something, as many of folks who are veterans understand that it's sometimes challenging because of backgrounds. But I wanted to touch real quick, because we didn't get an opportunity to talk about this, because sometimes when we do get into a home or we get into a house or a situation like that, and I know you've been through the process, you've been through war on debt, and being able to not only cash your vision, but also be able to pay for that dwelling, that it doesn't drain you and drain your life and suck your whole family dry. And can you talk to us just a little bit, just a small piece, about helping folks cast a vision for the home that they're going to purchase or sell, and then being able to manage that some of that debt that may, if you're smart and you work with Tammy, you're going to be able to get that down so that it doesn't swallow your life up.
Well, you know what, Nikki? Yes, I can do that, because I went through the experience myself. Okay. My husband and I, we were in $1.3 million in debt.
I just heard just hearing it. It's like, oh!
Yes, we were choking. We were drowning. Oh my God. The pandemic is here. We ain't had to suffer. Hallelujah. We paid off. We're down now to probably out of 1.3, we're down to like $60,000 left.
Wow.
In debt.
Wow.
Yes. And so what we did is we began to focus on our finance and getting a vision for our money. And so I do have some things that are going to happen. That God has given me a vision, and it will be manifest here in the next 6 months. I can't share it right now. I have some friends that do know about it. And it's working out. It's going to be manifested. I'm so excited about what's going to happen. You're going to see a new me. You're going to see life. You're going to see people's lives being changed even more of something that God is going to be doing soon in my life. I'm here in the next 6 months. And so, yes, because of that, Nikkei, you get experience. You're going to get me. I'm going to help you look at your debt and tell you what you need to pay off. Let's do it. If you're going to buy a house, let's buy it the right way. So we help people, look at their income and their debt, and and put money in the bank. You know what I learned? This is something, Nikkei, because whenever you begin to start manifesting, things begin to attract to you, right? There's an attraction there. When you begin to save money, when you begin to have money, you run into people that has money too. So I am running into a lot of people that has down payment that can rip out and write a check for this, a check for cash, a check for that. That wasn't even in my life. Okay. So that happens, but we will help you. We will look at the whole entire process. Okay. And I will tell you, don't buy this house. Don't get in this payment unless you pay off these debts. And then you invest into real estate. So I help people become an investor. We get ready to do, if you want to be an investor, we're going to have a class on March the 27th that I'm going to be launching with my partner, Joe White, on teaching you how to be a wholesaler, how to be an investor, how we can partner up, that I can help. One, put cash in your pocket. Number two, put cash every single month of cash flow into your pocket. So not only that I sell your house, I also help you be an investor so you can make money as well.
Oh man. Well, that is a fascinating and just phenomenal message. You and I have just had an opportunity to listen to wisdom, not just someone who, looks good and, smell good and sound good, but someone who's been through the fires, to the pits, and been to the lows of lows and the highs of highs, and now able to help you to cast vision. So, Tammy, I two things I need from you, because there's a lot of things that you talked about. Number one, I want to find out, how can folks get a copy of the book? Number one. And number two, if someone is in your region or some of the states that you operate in, because I know you don't just operate in just your own state, you operate in multiple states. One, how do they get the book? And then number two, how do they get in contact with you if they're going to work with you on the real estate side as an investor or as a homeowner, seller, or just someone who needs some hand holding because maybe they can't get you in their state, but they need somebody to kind of look over their shoulders, to kind of protect their assets, because, I'm not saying all real estate agents are shady, but there are some shady characters in any industry. It'd be nice to have somebody kind of looking over your shoulder to say, that might not be all that great. So how do they get in contact with you first for the book?
Yes. My book is on Amazon. So the name of the book is called The Vision Within Vision Book here. Okay. And it's on Amazon. And you can Google by my name, Tammy A Watson, The Vision Within Vision Book. So you can go on Amazon there. I do have a website where we're going to be starting up our next coaching class, coaching you through on how to write your vision in the 12 areas of your life. You can go to visionbook.com and you can find me there, and you can sign up for my coaching classes there as well. So that's how you can get a hold of my book. And every Tuesday night on my Facebook, I do what is called a vision book show, where we bring free content to you to help you cast your vision in 12 areas of your life. So we talk about different topics. So we just got through talking about self-care. Next week, we're going to be talking about community. I forgot to tell you that's one part section in the book.
Oh, no, it's perfect because it gives them a reason to go grab the book first. Don't give them everything. I don't want to. I mean, you want to hold back so folks to say, you know what? She's only talking about maybe 3, but there's 12. So I need to get the whole book and then sign up for the course. Now, if someone wants to work with you as just a professional real estate person, how do they get in? Do they go through Amazon? Do they go through the book, or do you? I mean, how do if they just say, hey, can you help me sell this house or buy my house or whatever? How do they get that part?
Yes, and I would love to help them sell their house and buy their home. You can contact me at Coldwell Banker Advantage. I'm Coldwell Banker. I have a team of agents that we work together. We're a team at Coldwell Banker, which is diversity-driven real estate group, real estate team. My phone number is 336-995-4528. You can also contact me by my email is twatson@cbadvantage.com. And so those are the ways that you can get in contact with me.
Wow. Well, thank you very much, Tammy, for sitting down and giving us, not only your wisdom, your expertise, your professionalism, your heart, your community involvement, and all the different projects that you've been involved with, but also some of the things that you're going to be doing in the future. So I want to thank you. I want to thank Henry, who let us borrow you just for a few moments. That's your amazing, handsome, regal, king-like. Well, no, he's not a king-like. He is a king. Henry Watson, who, if you ever sit down with Henry long enough, you'll fall in love with him. But he's a one-woman man, so your woman, stay away. Okay. But he has wisdom, and he's a brother, he's a father, he's a friend, he's an uncle, and whatever position, and he can help you because he's been through some challenges just like Tammy. So thank you very much for allowing us some time to talk with you. And thank you for being here, Tammy.
Yes. Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it as well.
You are very welcome. And for you, thank you for being here, for being our honored guest to sit down and let us talk with Tammy about her success and some of the strategies that you can use from many different failure points and how to be able to find success no matter where you are. Remember, we're here to support and encourage each other. And we know not all of us have pretty skin and pretty hair or any hair. You have challenges. Maybe you have things that are happening inside your life that started when you were 3 years old. We've given you some messaging and some encouragement to understand that you're not in it alone, that there are people who can help you, and you have resources available. So thank you for being here. I look forward to hearing your comments below, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.